I want you to not only consider this scenario of packet corruption, but to also consider all other scenarios. Packets can be dropped, packets can be delayed. So what are the rules that you are going to come up with between the sender and the receiver that will allow you to send these 10 packets over this unreliable channel? Okay? I want you to work in groups. You can work in pairs. एक student sender बन जाए, एक receiver बन जाए, and just figure out कि आप ये कैसे 10 packets भेजेंगे over this channel. ठीक है? Is the question clear? चलें ठीक है जी, let's get started. If you don't have a neighbor, just move around, make teams of 3. जी चलें, let's reconvene and see कि क्या आप लोगों की thoughts हैं. ठीक है, तो let's first talk about the first potential issue, right, that I mentioned. Let's say you send packet 1 and it gets to the receiver but it's corrupted. ठीक है? First of all, how will you detect that the packet is corrupted? Checksum, very good. So we are going to talk about some mechanisms which are used to build a reliable protocol. ठीक है? And you already know about checksum. Checksum will allow you to detect whether some bits have been flipped or not. ठीक है? जो data corruption वाले issue है उसको detect करने में checksum will help. Let's assume that your checksum doesn't match. The packet was corrupted. What should you do? What should the receiver do, or what should the sender do? Ji, the person in the front row.
So the receiver should send a request for retransmission to the sender.
ठीक है, तो let's talk about that. So essentially, what's your name?
Mohsen.
Mohsen. So Mohsen is suggesting that the receiver should send some feedback to the sender. ठीक है? How many of you agree with this? How many of you think that a feedback is not required? Chale, that's good. So people who think it's not required, what are your thoughts?
जी बता दें.
This channel is unreliable, so I don't think that we need to send the request for another packet of the same thing.
I can't hear you. Can you maybe come closer?
Maybe speak up a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think while channel hai, we said that it is unreliable. So if a packet is dropped or corrupted, so we shouldn't ask for it. Because we were prepared for it in with था कि हमारा कोई packet जो है वो drop हो सकता है, corrupt हो सकता है.
ठीक है, तो how would you know? How would the sender know that the packet was corrupted? Do you think it's important? या sender के लिए जरूरी नहीं है कि the sender knows कि packet was corrupted or not?
Unreliable channel is really नहीं.
ठीक है, लेकिन the goal is कि the channel is unreliable, लेकिन you want to reliably send these 10 packets. ठीक है? So the channel can corrupt packets, it can drop packets, लेकिन your goal as the sender and the receiver is to make sure that you eventually get these 10 packets. ठीक है? Even if the channel is unreliable. So you do need some sort of a feedback, ठीक है, from the receiver. Now the question is, should the feedback be acknowledgement? Which means it's a positive feedback that I got something, ठीक है? Or it should be a negative feedback, a negative acknowledgement that I did not properly receive something or I did not get anything. तो आपके ख्याल में पॉजिटिव फीडबैक वाली चीज होनी चाहिए या नेगेटिव फीडबैक वाली होनी चाहिए? Negative? So basically you are suggesting कि अगर if everything is fine, then you don't send any feedback. अगर ये पैकेट बिल्कुल ठीक था तो आप कोई फीडबैक नहीं भेजेंगे.
We will send a feedback.
तो आर यू सजेस्टिंग कि दोनों केसेस में फीडबैक होनी चाहिए, पॉजिटिव केस में भी और नेगेटिव केस में भी?
Yes.
Okay, how many of you think we should send both a positive feedback as well as a negative feedback? Okay. So can't we use the absence of a positive feedback as a negative feedback?
No.
Yes or no?
No. Mixed opinions.
Okay. So anyone who thinks that would not work, the absence of a positive feedback,
Because
what would
we
be
have
your
a
reasoning?
reliable network, so the negative feedback can also be lost. So it's either that if we don't send a positive feedback, there can be two cases. Either the packet was received successfully or NAT was dropped on its way back to the sender.
बिल्कुल ठीक है. तो all of that is possible. It's possible कि आप acknowledgement भेजें and that gets dropped. It's also possible that you send a negative acknowledgement and that also gets dropped. ठीक है? So the question is, should you be sending positive feedback or should you be sending negative feedback? ठीक है? There are pros and cons. Both could potentially be used. Let's consider the pros and cons, right? So let's say you come up with a system which only sends negative acknowledgements. ठीक है? If something goes wrong, only then you send a NAC or a negative acknowledgement. Okay? So let's assume you send a packet and that gets dropped. It never gets to the receiver. So when should the receiver send a negative acknowledgement? It never got that packet. Yes.
So the receiver has no idea whether the sender should be sending something or is not supposed to be sending something. So I suppose the sender has to keep track of when it is sending something and when it does not receive an ACK or a NAC.
Okay, so if we are going with a NAC based system, okay, then one challenge is that the receiver needs to know when it would be expecting packets. Okay? Because if the receiver doesn't get any packet, then it doesn't know whether it is because the sender doesn't want to send anything, it doesn't have anything to send, or the packet was dropped. Okay? For this precise reason, negative acknowledgements are more challenging to deal with. And that is why in most protocols, acknowledgements, the positive feedback is used. Because when the receiver receives something, then it knows it can send an acknowledgement back. It's easier to handle that. If it doesn't receive anything, it doesn't do anything about that. Okay? So the second key mechanism for reliability is acknowledgement or negative acknowledgements. And we discussed why acknowledgements are easier to handle compared to negative acknowledgements. Is that clear to everyone? Any questions on this so far? Okay, good. So let's say we had a scenario where we sent a packet, okay, and you send an acknowledgement back. Okay, so this is packet 1, and let's say you send an acknowledgement for this packet. Now I'm showing that the acknowledgement number is 1, but you can also have protocols which use different numbering schemes. Like the acknowledgement could basically refer to the next packet you are expecting. Okay, like the acknowledgement for packet 1 could be acknowledgement 2 because that's the next packet you are expecting. Okay, so that could vary, but the important thing is that you are acknowledging that you have received a data packet. Okay, let's assume this acknowledgement was dropped. What should we do then? I couldn't hear. Can you just like speak up?
We can implement timeout on sender side.
Okay, so very good. So basically, even the acknowledgements can be dropped as well. Okay. So the sender needs to have some mechanism, and this is typically called a timeout. So if the sender doesn't receive an acknowledgement within a certain timeout, it's going to retransmit the packet. Okay. So the third important mechanism that's used in reliability protocol is this notion of timeouts and retransmissions. Okay. How should we select this timeout value? How big should it be? Should it be less than 1 round trip time?
It should be greater than 1 RTT
And why is that?
because packets can be delayed.
So even if the packets are not delayed, what is the minimum amount of time it would take you to get an acknowledgement? That's the minimum time, right? So you should not have a timeout that's less than that. Never, okay? So setting the right timeout value is complicated. It's not non-trivial. And later on, you are going to see how TCP sets a suitable timeout value. But for now, let's assume that magically you are given some timeout value and you are going to use it. ठीक है? And this timeout will never be perfect. ठीक है? It is possible, for example, that you send a packet, you had a timeout value, and this packet was delayed, and the acknowledgement was delayed as well. Okay? And you had a premature timeout. So you send packet 1 again at this time. Okay? So what is the problem with premature timeouts? The scenario that I have just drawn here. Why is this bad? Why do you want to avoid premature timeouts? Yes.
So it creates
Mohsen?
it creates undesired redundancy or latency within the transmission. So you have to keep sending packet 1 unless you successfully receive the ACK within the RTT or within the timeout.
Okay, very good. So basically it's inefficient, right? You are using the network for packets that you should not be using it for. Okay. So it creates inefficiencies. But from a protocol perspective, it also adds another challenge. Okay. Which is that on the receiver side, so on the receiver side, how will you know whether you got a new packet or a previous packet? How would you know that?
We can have sequence numbers in the packets.
Okay, very good. So the next important mechanism is sequence numbers. Okay. This is the fourth one. And somehow my pen has stopped working, but I will keep speaking. So the fourth mechanism is sequence numbers, okay? Sequence numbers help you differentiate between potentially a retransmission and an original packet, okay? So in this case, whether the packet was the original packet 1 or the retransmitted packet 1, okay? If you had no sequence numbers, then you would not be able to identify as the receiver whether it's a new packet or an old packet, okay?
बाहर स्क्रीन आपकी जो ना वो ब्लैक हो गई है.
जी सर, I would be back. I'm just checking कि ये मेरे पेन का चार्ज तो नहीं है. I'm just charging और मैं अभी I will be back.
ठीक है.
So the question for you is how big should be the sequence number range? How many sequence numbers do you need? Take a minute to think about it.
Number of packets and sender side.
सीक्वेंस नंबर कितने होने चाहिए?
File size divided by the packet size.
So हर packet के लिए do you want a unique sequence number?
Yes. We want to identify if we have originally received this or not.
But why not just reuse sequence numbers, right? If let's say I tell you only have 1 bit for the sequence number, you can only use number 0 or 1. Do you think that can ever work or that would not be feasible?
It can work in this case because we are assuming the packets will be delivered in order. So we can have the even number sequence numbers represented by 0 and odd ones with 1.
Okay. Okay, and anyone else who thinks this will not work?
Multiple packets delay होंगे तो issue आएगा.
अगर मल्टीपल पैकेट्स होंगे तो फिर इशू आएगा.
यानी अगर same sequence में 0 1 अगर हम करेंगे तो फिर receiver end पे किस तरह से हम rebuild करेंगे. यानी same file है उसका just आंसर और 5 आंसर मेरे delay हो गए हैं तो आगे पीछे receive होने receiver end पे.
तो फार ये स्टूडेंट की इनपुट है कि अगर ये काम तो करेगा लेकिन अगर मल्टीपल पैकेट्स हो जाएंगे सीक्वेंस नंबर 0 के या सीक्वेंस नंबर 1 के तो फिर इशू आ जाएगा.
Very good, very good. क्या what's the name of the student?
मोहम्मद हसन.
Ehsan?
हसन सर.
हसान.
Hassan, Ji Hassan, your observation is spot on. If we are sending only one packet at a time, then a sequence number of 1 bit will be sufficient. Okay, but if you are sending multiple packets at the same time, then you would need more than that. Okay, and this is something we are going to see later on. So any questions so far on the different mechanisms that are required for a reliability protocol? Can you see my screen again?
जी जी.
चलें, that's good. ठीक है, तो these were the basic mechanisms. ठीक है, checksum to detect whether packet has been corrupted or not, acknowledgements or negative acknowledgements. We need some sort of timeouts, and once we time out, we need to retransmit, and we also need sequence numbers. Okay. Sequence numbers के लिए कितनी bits चाहिए होंगी? This is something which will depend on the protocol, and we are going to see different protocols and how many bits would they need for sequence numbers. ठीक है? So we are going to now talk about 3 protocols for reliability, and they are going to like build on top of each other. ठीक है? From the very simple to something which is more complicated. So the first protocol is stop and wait. So the idea in stop and wait is very simple. 1 packet at a time. Okay. So basically, if you are a sender, you will send 1 packet. Okay. And you will start a timeout. You will expect an acknowledgement back. If you get an acknowledgement, you are going to send the next packet. Okay. So let's say if we have 1 bit, then you are alternating between 1 and 0. So the next packet could be 0, and you get an acknowledgement for 0, and then you are going to send 1 again, and you are going to get the acknowledgement for 1. Okay. So 1 packet at a time, very simple, exactly the kind of example we were considering before. Okay. So this is the scenario where everything works out well. But now let's consider scenarios where things go wrong and see how stop and wait will work in that scenario. Okay. So let's imagine you send a packet and the packet is dropped. Okay. So this was packet 1 and this packet was dropped. So what would happen? What would the receiver do? Anyone other than Mohsin and Hassan? मुझे इन दोनों के नाम तो याद हो गए हैं. What would the receiver do? The packet was dropped, never got to the receiver.
The receiver cannot do anything. It doesn't know if it is supposed to receive a packet or not.
Very good. What's your name?
Ali.
Ali?
Ali, yes.
Ji Ali, very good. So the receiver would do nothing. And what would happen on the sender side?
Timeout will occur.
So you would have a timeout and then you are going to retransmit packet 1 again. So let's assume this time around it got through and you get an acknowledgement, and then you are going to proceed, okay? So let's now consider a scenario where the app was dropped. Okay, let's say we can take this example. If let's say the app was dropped, what would happen? Anyone who hasn't had a chance? Again, timeout will occur. So from the perspective of the sender, whether the packet was lost or whether an acknowledgement was lost, the sender doesn't know, okay? So the sender will time out and will send the packet again. So let's say we consider this example, you had packet 1, the acknowledgement was dropped, okay? The sender will time out and the sender will send which packet? Packet 1 again, right? So what would happen at the receiver side when the receiver gets packet 1?
Started.
Sorry?
It will be discarded,
Okay, why should it be discarded?
or it's again packet 1, and it has a sequence number of 1.
Okay, what's your name?
Some
Okay, Hassan. So Hassan is right? So
ये हसाम है, वो पहले वाले हसान थे, ये हसाम है.
acha chalein, that's good. So on the receiver side, the receiver is expecting packet 0, right? Because it already got packet 1. So it should not consider packet 1, which has come again. Should it send any acknowledgement or not?
yes, it should send the acknowledgement of 1.
And why is that important?
The sender does not send the packet 1 again.
Yeah, because if the receiver doesn't send the acknowledgement again, the sender would keep sending this packet again and again. Okay? So even if you get a wrong packet on the receiver side, you still need to send an acknowledgement because the sender doesn't know you have got that packet. Okay? Does that make sense? Chale, that's good. So and similarly, we can consider a scenario where there was a premature timeout and you send packet 1 again. It's very similar to an acknowledgement being dropped. Okay? The receiver would have already received packet 1. So it just gets the packet 1 again. It discards it, but it still sends the acknowledgement back. Okay? Okay, so what do you think is the potential problem with stop and wait? It seems very simple, right? So that's good. It's a very simple protocol, but what do you think is the potential issue with it?
It is very slow
Okay, and why is that slow?
because we cannot send the next packet until we have the confirmation that the previous packet was received.
Okay, very good. So we are only sending one packet at a time. So you send one packet, you get an acknowledgement, and during this time, you are not sending anything, okay? So you are idle. For what kind of scenarios would this make more difference? Would this be more inefficient? And I want you to think about propagation delays and transmission delays that you already know about. अगर आपका propagation delay बहुत ज्यादा है, you are sending something to America, ठीक है? Do you think stop and wait would be a good option or a bad option? Or do you think the propagation delay doesn't matter? Let's consider an example and hopefully that will help you better appreciate. Okay? Let's say we have a setting where the round trip time is 15 millisecond. Okay? We have 1000 byte packets. And we have a 1 gigabits per second link. सही है? So who will calculate the transmission delay of a single packet in this scenario? कितना होगा transmission delay?
Eight millisecond.
8 मिलीसेकेंड या कोई और यूनिट होना चाहिए?
Gigabit per second है.
Sorry, 8 microseconds.
8 microseconds, right? तो आपको 15 मिलीसेकेंड लगते हैं राउंड ट्रिप टाइम में, सही है? और एक पैकेट को ट्रांसमिट करने में आपको सिर्फ 8, सो दिस इज 15 मिलीसेकेंड, और एक पैकेट को ट्रांसमिट करने में यू ओनली रिक्वायर 8 माइक्रोसेकेंड्स. ठीक है? तो ये इनएफिशिएंट है या ये एफिशिएंट है सिनेरियो स्टॉप एंड वेट के लिए? How much more could the sender could have sent during this time, during this round trip time? So basically the link utilization in this case is less than 0.1%. ठीक है? As a sender, you send a packet, it takes you only 8 microseconds. But then you have to wait for 30 milliseconds to potentially get an acknowledgement back. सही है? During this time, the link is idle. You are not sending more packets on this link. So this is very inefficient. Does that make sense? तो इससे तो लग रहा है कि stop and wait is very inefficient. तो आपके ख्याल में stop and wait कहीं पे यूज होता है प्रैक्टिकली या दिस इज जस्ट थ्योरेटिकल? ये सिर्फ बुक में ही आप पढ़ेंगे इसको? इस सिनेरियो में व्हाट वाज द की बिट? व्हाट वाज द रिलेशनशिप बिटवीन द प्रोपगेशन डिले एंड द ट्रांसमिशन डिले? अगर प्रोपगेशन डिले भी 8 माइक्रोसेकंड्स होता तो फिर ये इनएफिशिएंसी कम हो जाती या ज्यादा हो जाती?
It would become efficient because link would be utilized at 100%.
वेरी गुड, राइट? अगर ये प्रोपगेशन डिले कम करते जाएंगे तो इनएफिशिएंसी वुड गो डाउन, राइट? तो किस तरह के सिनेरियोज में यू थिंक प्रोपगेशन डिले, यू थिंक स्टॉप एंड वेट में मेक सेंस? Can you come up with a practical scenario जहां पे आपके ख्याल में यूज होता हो स्टॉप एंड वेट? जी मोहसिन.
Transmission in close vicinity, यानी in your local network.
वेरी गुड. आप लोग अगर अभी कोई आप में से कोई वाईफाई यूज कर रहा है तो एक्चुअली वाईफाई 802.11 इज यूजिंग स्टॉप एंड वेट. आपका लैपटॉप और राउटर के दरमियान स्टॉप एंड वेट यूज हो रहा है इस वक्त. ठीक है? Because the propagation delay is very small, router is really close to you. ठीक है? तो in that case, stop and wait is also efficient enough. लेकिन wide area settings में where the propagation delays are larger, then stop and wait is not efficient, and that is why you use window-based protocols. जहां पे you are going to send a window of packets to the receiver and not just one packet. Okay. Any questions so far? विंडो साइज क्या होनी चाहिए आपकी? कितनी बड़ी होगी विंडो? कितनी बड़ी विंडो होनी चाहिए आपकी? बड़ी से बड़ी रखते हैं, जितने अनलिमिटेड, जितने भी पैकेट्स मैक्सिमम भेज सकते हैं भेज दें, या यू थिंक वी शुड बी मोर केयरफुल इन टर्म्स ऑफ सेटिंग द राइट विंडो?
नेटवर्क के लोड के हिसाब से।
नेटवर्क के लोड के लिहाज से?
Yes, sir.
ओके, गुड. अदर पॉसिबिलिटीज?
रिसीवर के जो रिसीव करने वाले
ओके, वेरी गुड. रिसीवर विंडो, आप, आई डोंट नो आप लोगों ने फ्लो कंट्रोल के बारे में थोड़ा सा पढ़ा है या नहीं, लेकिन यू डोंट वांट टू ओवरवेलम द रिसीवर. ठीक है, तो विंडो साइज आपकी जितना रिसीवर हैंडल कर सकता है उससे ज्यादा नहीं होनी चाहिए. वेरी गुड. सो दिस इज समथिंग यू आर गोइंग टू स्टडी लेटर ऑन, कि हाउ टीसीपी सेट्स द विंडो साइज. ठीक है, and it depends on both the congestion window and the flow control window, the receiver window. ठीक है, लेकिन for now we are going to assume that magically you are given a window and we are going to see how the reliability works based on a given window size. ठीक है, but how exactly is that window determined? You are going to study that later on as part of TCP. Okay. So the first window-based protocol we are going to study is called go back N. ठीक है? It basically extends selective repeat, and most of the changes are on the sender side. ठीक है? So the sender, rather than sending just one packet, would send a window of packets. ठीक है? So let's say these are all the different packet numbers, and let's say the window size here is 6. Okay. This basically means that at any given point, the sender can send 6 packets which are unacknowledged. Okay. यानी कि it doesn't need to wait for an acknowledgement to send the next packet. It can send packets 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So this is different from stop and wait, where you are only going to send one packet at a time, and you are going to wait for an acknowledgement and then send the next packet. Okay. So immediately, as you can see, you need more than one bit for the sequence number if your window size is larger than that. And we are going to see what is the relationship between sequence numbers and window size. But for now, you can just assume that you have sufficient number of bits to have all these different sequence numbers. Okay. So this is the difference on the sender side. Sender will send a window of packets. The receiver of go back N is very similar to a stop and wait receiver. Okay. It is expecting the next packet in the right sequence. Okay. Nothing else. It just keeps track of one number. Which packet is the receiver expecting next? So initially, in this scenario, the receiver is expecting 1. So any other packet that it gets, it will discard that packet. Okay. It's only expecting 1. So we are going to see how this actually works in practice. Okay. So the sender will send packets 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The receiver is first expecting 1. So it gets 1. It's going to send the acknowledgement for 1, and then it's expecting 2. Okay. So it's going to send the acknowledgement for 2, and then it's expecting 3, and it's going to send the acknowledgement and so on. Okay. So the receiver is only expecting the next correct packet, and if it gets that packet, then it's going to be happy. It's going to consider that packet. Otherwise, it's going to discard any out of order packet that it gets. Okay. So the receiver is still very simple. It's not buffering any out of order packet that it gets. So if it gets 1 and then it gets 3, what would it do? Would it consider packet 3 or not?
No.
No, right? So let's say you sent packet 1 and packet 2 was dropped. You got packet 3 and you got packet 4 and packet 5 and packet 6. All these packets will be discarded by the receiver. But would the receiver be sending any acknowledgements or not? Or it should not send any acknowledgements? Yes, Mohsin?
Just the acknowledgement for packet 1.
Yes, so it will keep on sending the acknowledgement for the last correct packet that it received. Okay? So how exactly will this play out? So on the sender side, you are keeping this window, okay? And whenever you get an acknowledgement, you move your window if you can, okay? So if you get an acknowledgement for 1, you are going to move your window by 1, okay? So your window will move from 1 to 6 to now from 2 to 7. So when your window moves, what should you do as a receiver? So initially your window was from 1 to 6. You sent these 6 packets. You got an acknowledgement for 1. And when you get acknowledgement for 1, you can now move your window because out of these 6 packets, 1 has been acknowledged already, right? So now the window is from 2 to 7. What should you do now as a receiver?
It will update the next packet to 2.
What would it do? Sorry.
It will update the new packet to 2.
So what do you mean by update the new packet?
At the receiver side, it is keeping track of the next packet it expects.
Okay. So what would the sender do when it gets packet acknowledgement for 1 and it moves the window from 2 to 7? What would the sender do? Do you think the sender can send any more packets or not? Okay, very good. So remember, at any given point, the sender can have packets equal to the window size that can be unacknowledged. Okay, so window size is 6. So you can have 6 unacknowledged packets. Okay. So when you move your window, if there is a new packet, you will send that packet. So in this case, you will send packet 7. Okay. So let's consider the acknowledgement. So the receiver is sending these acknowledgements, right? It first sends the acknowledgement for 1, and let's say in this case, all the packets go through, it will send packet acknowledgement for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. An important point to note here is that in go back N, the acknowledgements are cumulative. So cumulative acknowledgements mean that when you send acknowledgement for 4, it's not just acknowledging 4, but it's also acknowledging all previous packets. Okay? Because it's not possible that you send an acknowledgement for 4 and you have not received the prior packets. Okay? That scenario is not possible. Because remember that the receiver is only expecting the next correct packet. So it will only send the acknowledgement for 4 if it has received packets 1 through 3. Okay? Is that clear to everyone? So what is the potential benefit of cumulative acknowledgements? Can anyone see a benefit of that? Or you think there is no benefit?
One student wants to answer. जी.
जी.
सर अगर कोई acknowledgement drop हो गई है तो वो वाला पैकेट resend नहीं करेगा।
Very good. What's your name?
इकरा।
Ikra ji. Very good, Ikra. So this is the main advantage of cumulative acknowledgements. Okay? Let's say you had 3 packets in your window, 1, 2, 3. The receiver sends ACK for 1 and ACK for 2 and ACK for 3. And let's say the ACK for 2 gets dropped. Okay? On the sender side, when the sender gets acknowledgement 3, it knows that 2 was also received by the receiver. Because it is not possible to get acknowledgement for 3 if packet 2 was not received. So even though this acknowledgement was dropped, it didn't matter because later on you got the next acknowledgement and it was cumulative. It acknowledged all prior packets as well. Okay? So this is an advantage of cumulative acknowledgements. But the main drawback of go back N is that the go back N receiver is only expecting the next packet and it will discard any other packets, right? So in this case, if it gets packet 1, packet 2 was lost, and you get packet 3 and you get packet 4, these packets will be discarded. So what is the problem with that? Why is this inefficient? Ji, Mohsin.
So it requires the sender to retransmit successfully delivered packets again.
Yes, so this is go back N receiver is very simple. It's not buffering any out of order packets, but the result is that the sender needs to retransmit the entire window whenever there is a loss. Okay, so we are going to see how that plays in here, right? So initially, so let's say we had 1, 2, 3, 4. So this was the window size, and then we had 5, 6, 7, 8. So 1 was successfully received, and you got an acknowledgement for 1. So you would move your window to 2 to 5, and then you are going to send 5 as well. Okay. but then because 2 was lost, you will never get acknowledgement for 2, and you will keep getting acknowledgements for 1, which was the last successful packet, okay? And eventually you will time out. So you will have 1 timeout for the entire window, and you will time out and you will then retransmit 2, 3, 4, and 5 again, okay? So you will retransmit 2, 3, 4, and 5. So even though 3, 4, and 5 were successfully received by the receiver, it discarded those packets because they were out of order, okay? It was expecting packet 2, it never got packet 2, so it discarded these 3 packets, and eventually these packets needed to be retransmitted, okay? So this is inefficient. But it is keeping the receiver simple. The receiver is only tracking the next packet it is expecting, okay? Any questions so far? Chale. In that case, I have a question for you. Okay, so let's now consider the relationship between the window size in go back N and the sequence number. Okay, so let's say I tell you that you have 2 bits for the sequence numbers. Okay, so if you have 2 bits, how many numbers can you represent? 4, right? So let's say 0, 1, 2, 3, okay? And you have 2 bits, so you need to repeat these sequence numbers again, okay? Do you all agree? So now my question is, in this example, where the number of bits you have for sequence number, you have 2 bits, what is the maximum size of the window you can have for correct operation of go back N?
4.
Okay. So who is suggesting 4? Okay, so one proposal, one idea that has come up is a window size of 4. Okay. I want you to take a minute to think whether this is the right answer or there would be a problem if you use a window size of 4. Okay, is the question clear? So talk to your neighbors and figure this out.
Will window size of 4 work? क्वेश्चन रिपीट करने का कह रहे हैं फहद, आप रिपीट करेंगे?
जी बिल्कुल. तो we just looked at कि ये sequence number, let's say you have 2 bits, ठीक है? 2 bits में you can have 4 numbers 0, 1, 2, 3. The question is, what is the maximum window size you can use in this scenario? The proposal was use 4, which means your window size is from 0 to 3, so you can send 4 packets at a time. The question is, would there be any problem if you use a window size of 4 in this scenario? Can you come up with a scenario where there would be a problem if you use a window size of 4 and you may have to use a smaller window? जी, आप में से कौन है जो समझते हैं कि विंडो साइज ऑफ 4 इज गुड? कोई नहीं? Okay. How many of you think window size of 4 will not work? जी, मोहसिन के अलावा किसी का है? Hand raised, I can't see.
और कौन है? पीछे एक स्टूडेंट समझ रहे हैं,
अच्छा,
क्या नाम है आपका? मुनीब समझ रहे हैं कि 4 नहीं काम करेगा।
जी मुनीब बताएं कि आपके ख्याल में क्यों नहीं 4 काम नहीं चलेगा 4 से?
सर अगर हम पहले वाला पैकेट नंबर 0 है, अगर हम उसे सक्सेसफुली ट्रांसफर कर देते हैं, तो जिस तरह आपने पहले बताया था कि जैसे हमारा विंडो साइज इंक्रीज होगा तो नेक्स्ट पैकेट जो नया होगा उसे वो ट्रांसफर कर देगा। एंड द नेक्स्ट पैकेट इज 9 is 0, तो इट वुड से कि जो पहले पढ़ा हुआ है तो उसकी रिटर्न दोबारा भेज देगा।
ठीक है, मुझे आपका पूरी तरह नहीं समझ आया, लेकिन मुझे लगता है कि रफली यू आर गेटिंग टू द राइट पॉइंट। ठीक है, लेट्स कंसीडर अ सिनेरियो जहां पे हम 4 विंडो साइज यूज करते हैं। ठीक है, लेट्स सी व्हाई दिस विल नॉट वर्क आउट। Sender sends 4 packets 0, 1, 2, 3. They were all received by the receiver. ठीक है, the receiver sends ACK for each of them. Now, what is the next packet that the receiver is expecting? Which packet is the receiver expecting now? Anyone? It got the first 4 packets 0, 1, 2, 3. It sent the acknowledgements back. Now, which packet is the receiver expecting? Can anyone
Many
speak
people
up?
think it's 0. Many people think it's 0.
0, this 0, right? The next 0. Do you all agree?
Yes.
Okay. Now let's assume all the acknowledgements were dropped. What would happen?
Still expect 0.
The receiver is expecting the next 0, right? The next packet, because it already got the previous 4. The sender's view is completely different. The sender thinks none of the previous 4 packets got through. What would the sender do?
Retransmit the window again.
It would retransmit this window again. And what would be the problem?
The receiver would think that it is the next window.
Very good, very good. So the receiver would think this is the next window. These are the next packets. So window size,
क्वेश्चन है बात,
जी
सर ये तो फिर सीक्वेंस नंबर का मसला है ना, इसका मसला तो नहीं है कि आपने मतलब विंडोज का क्या था। अगर हमने सीक्वेंस नंबर 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 रखे होते तो हम 4 की विंडो से ऑपरेट कर सकते थे।
जी तो यही तो क्वेश्चन था कि अगर आपके पास 2 bits हैं, which means you can only have sequence numbers from 0 to 3. What is the maximum window size you can use? And it turns out you can't use window size of 4. ठीक है, that won't work. So what is the maximum window size you think you can use?
3.
Anyone who thinks 3 will not work? So 3 will work, okay? And we can see, right? So let's say your window size is now from 0, 1, 2. Again, consider the same scenario. You send 0, 1, and 2, okay? The receiver sends acknowledgements, but all the acknowledgements were dropped. Which packet is the receiver expecting now?
Packet 3.
Packet 3. Okay. So the sender, when it retransmits 0, 1, 2, there won't be any confusion because the receiver is expecting 3 now. ठीक है? Is this clear to everyone?
Yes.
So let's say you have a sequence number range, the maximum window size should be one less than that, okay? In go back n. So I know we're running short on time, so I'm just going to introduce you to the high level idea of the next protocol, which is selective repeat. In selective repeat, both the sender and the receiver maintain a window, okay? So let's say 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. And unlike go back n, where the receiver will discard any packet other than the one it's expecting next, a selective repeat receiver will accept any packet within this window, okay? So even if it doesn't get 1 and it gets 2, it will store 2 in its buffer and it will send acknowledgement for 2, okay? And as you can guess, the acknowledgements in selective repeat are not cumulative. They are individual acknowledgements, okay? Because as we just saw, when you send acknowledgement for 2, it doesn't mean you have received 1, okay? Whereas in go back n, the acknowledgements are cumulative. So this means that selective repeat can now retransmit only the lost packets, okay? So it's more efficient than go back n from that perspective. But it's not using cumulative acknowledgements. And cumulative acknowledgement have its own set of advantages. And later on, you are going to see how TCP combines some aspects of selective repeat and some aspects of go back n in its own reliability mechanism, okay? So as a homework exercise, you should read on selective repeat, the high level idea we have discussed, and also think of the same question we discussed for go back n, the relationship between the sequence number range and the window size. Would a window size of 1 less than the sequence number range work for selective repeat or not? Okay, so think about that question, and hopefully in the next session, Tariq Saab can tell you the answer. But hopefully, I hope like this would have given you like a high level perspective of how selective repeat works too, okay? Any questions on this? I know I'm like substituting for Tariq Saab, and Tariq Saab usually finishes on time. If I was substituting for Dr. Zatash, I would have continued for a while. Any questions?
क्वेश्चन है एक स्टूडेंट आगे आके पूछ ले इधर आके पूछ ले
सर मेरा क्वेश्चन है एक तो गो बैक एन से रिलेटेड और दूसरा सिलेक्टिव रिपीट से। गो बैक एन के अंदर सर हम ये अज्यूम कर रहे हैं कि पैकेट्स जिस ऑर्डर में हम सेंड कर रहे हैं उसी ऑर्डर में वो रिसीव भी हो रहे हैं आगे।
जी अभी हम रीऑर्डरिंग नहीं अस्यूम कर रहे कि पैकेट्स की रीऑर्डरिंग हो रही है, क्योंकि रीऑर्डरिंग कैन रियली मेस अप स्टफ, ठीक है? क्योंकि आप अगली विंडो एक्सपेक्ट कर रहे हैं और रीऑर्डरिंग की वजह से कोई पिछली विंडो का पैकेट आ जाए, सही है? तो रीऑर्डरिंग नहीं हम एक्सपेक्ट कर रहे, लॉसेस हो सकते हैं लेकिन रीऑर्डरिंग नहीं हो सकती पैकेट्स की।
तो सर अगर उसमें कोई पैकेट डिले की वजह से लेट पहुंचता है तो उसमें क्या होगा, ड्रॉप हो जाएंगे बाकी पैकेट्स में?
जी यानी कि हाँ, यानी कि पैकेट्स कैन बी डिलेड, लेकिन अगर पैकेट 1 डिले होता है तो फिर पैकेट 2 एंड सब्सिक्वेंट पैकेट्स विल आल्सो बी डिलेड, रीऑर्डर नहीं हो जाएंगे वो, ठीक है। तो होगा क्या कि फॉर एग्जांपल यू मे हैव अ टाइम आउट एंड यू मे एंड अप सेंडिंग देम ट्वाइस।
सर मैं ये पूछ रहा था कि सपोज करें कि हम उसमें 6 की विंडो साइज है हमारा और
जी।
पैकेट 1 और 2 रिसीव हो जाते हैं, उसके बाद पैकेट 4 जो है रिसीव होता है, 3 जो है वो डिले हो जाता है, ऐसा पॉसिबल है?
नहीं, ये रीऑर्डरिंग हो जाएगी, इसको आप रीऑर्डरिंग कहेंगे।
ठीक है सर।
हाँ, यानी कि रीऑर्डरिंग रियली कॉम्प्लिकेट सिचुएशन, और लेटर ऑन आप टीसीपी के कॉन्टेक्स्ट में देखेंगे कि टीसीपी क्या हेरिस्टिक्स यूज करता है टू डील विद रीऑर्डरिंग, ठीक है। लेकिन ये जो आर्बिट्ररी रीऑर्डरिंग है ना, कि एक पैकेट डिले हो गया और वो काफी देर बाद अपीयर हो जाए, दैट कैन रियली कॉम्प्लिकेट द सिचुएशन। तो अभी हम अस्यूम कर रहे हैं कि देयर इज नो रीऑर्डरिंग, ठीक है।
ठीक है सर। और सर सिलेक्टिव रिपीट के अंदर अगर हमारा बफर जो है वो फिल हो जाता है,
जी जी,
तो उसके बाद जो नेक्स्ट पैकेट आता है तो उसका क्या होगा? वो बफर
उसको हम डिस्कार्ड कर देंगे, यानी कि इस विंडो के बाहर कोई पैकेट आता है ना, तो उसको नहीं हम एक्सेप्ट करेंगे, उसको हम डिस्कार्ड कर देंगे।
ठीक है सर, थैंक यू।
थैंक यू।
और कोई क्वेश्चन? Does anyone have a question?
ठीक है जी।
ये किसी का क्वेश्चन ही नहीं है, ये तो लगता है कि सब कुछ सही हो गया, क्विज लेना पड़ेगा नेक्स्ट।
या सब कुछ समझ आ गई या कुछ भी नहीं समझ आया?
वो क्विज से ही पता चलेगा।
ठीक है, गुड।
ठीक है जी, ये तो बड़ी बिल्कुल सही टाइम पे छोड़ दिया, शायद थोड़ा पहले ही छोड़ दिया।
आप लोग की आई वाज अज्यूमिंग कि हमने 5 मिनट थोड़ा ऊपर ऊपर चले गए हैं क्लास में।
नहीं, 10 मिनट कम हो गए, 10 मिनट कम जल्दी छोड़ दिया।
अच्छा, 100 मिनट्स की आपकी कितनी है क्लास?
75।
75 ही थी। अच्छा,
हाँ
ठीक।
जी, हाँ जी।
हाँ, मैंने तारिक साहब के टाइम पे खत्म किया क्लास।
सही है, बिल्कुल ठीक है, बिल्कुल ठीक है।
चलें, ठीक है। थैंक यू एवरीवन। थैंक यू। थैंक यू।
ठीक है फाद साहब, थैंक यू वेरी
थैंक यू।
मच।
थैंक यू।
ठीक है, ये मैंने रिकॉर्ड जो है वो कर लिया लेक्चर, लेकिन रिकॉर्डिंग जो है ना वो थोड़ी देर से शुरू की थी, मैं भूल गया था।
चलें, ठीक है सर, ठीक है।
मे बी पहले 10 मिनट्स मिस हो गई।
चलें, ठीक है सर, ठीक है। थैंक यू।
ठीक है, चलें फिर बात होती है इंशाल्लाह।
चलें जी, ठीक है।
ओके,
ओके जी, अल्लाह हाफिज।
खुदा हाफिज।